Good morning and welcome to another fabulous fun-filled interview with Embrace All of You. I'm your hostess with the mostest, I guess, Dr. Mary Pritchard. Today we are privileged to be having a conversation with Cindy Heath. She's a dedicated life student, spiritual seeker, energy healer, registered nurse, women's health educator, and a past teacher in nursing to both university and college students. She's also a teacher of Kundalini Yoga and a mother of six beautiful daughters. Cindy has inspired and healed many over her 25 years as a practitioner in the medical field. Awarded for her caring in nursing, she trailblazes a divinely lit path that gives women permission to love themselves, embrace their own greatness, and dare to believe in the power that they own scientifically and energetically to raise their lives up to a level where magic and miracles live. She calls this experience living and being real beautiful. So capital R-E-A-L, beautiful. In her book, Real Beautiful, The Secret Energy of the Mind, Body, and Spirit, Cindy uplifts women to higher levels of vibrational energy with some unique and powerful scientific practices that are really going to help you feel good enough. You know, society really kind of makes us not feel good enough sometimes just for who we are. So she is helping you come back to that point where you really feel good enough in your own skin and to really come to know and honor and the reverence that you deserve in life. Cindy shares her spiritual journey filled with higher insights and her own near-death experience to help guide us to know ourselves as energy beings so that we can create our own beauty, power, healing, happiness, success, heaven, and more. The magic and miracles, that is life. Welcome, Cindy.
Honored to be here, Mary. Excited to talk about beauty, especially because it's my favorite topic. So,
yay!
Yeah.
So you've had a long journey. You started out as a nurse, and then you kind of, meandered along your way, and life led you to this path that you're on now. So walk us through that so we can get to know you a little bit more and what you do, why you do what you do, and what you do exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I have been on a bit of a journey in the career path, but it's all very synchronistic and reflective of the journey I've been taking personally myself. Mm-hmm. I feel like I have a unique experience in being one of 5 daughters, so one of 5 sisters, right? I also have
a lot of girls in your family.
Yeah. So that's unusual in itself, right? To have 5 girls in one family. Obviously, I'm a woman myself. I also have 6 daughters, which is very kind of interesting. And I worked in a profession that was very female-dominated, mm-hmm. The nursing profession. Mm-hmm. In my experience of life, I think the combination of the experience of being a woman, being surrounded by women in the health profession, I was continually hearing this message. It was echoing inside of me, but inside of a lot of the women that I was coming up against, whether it was directly in my practice, through my children, with their friends. I feel like I'm like the spiritual mother to many because all of these women have just been kind of attracted to me in the sense of the knowledge that I've been learning on a deeper level in the health field. Trying to understand the human experience and beauty, the sense of feeling good enough in a society that steals it away from us, and working at creating an opportunity for women. And I wrote the book for that reason. The book is a treasure chest of ways, energy, technologies, and practices which are outside the box from what we learn in present-day society. Mm-hmm. And these are the ways that are most effective. I've studied self-esteem, I've written papers, I've researched it, I've tried to practice the things, and I came across, the experience of these technologies, and they were the things that worked the best. They uplifted me, it stayed with me, and was it was just more profound in a sense that I really kind of got connected to higher vibrations, as I say. When you look at your body, instead of us looking at the body just superficially, the skin, the color of our skin, the freckles and marks and wrinkles on our skin, and we actually go inside to who we really are on an energetic and scientific level, we start to experience a sacredness that we're not taught in society. And there's ways to power and beauty that some women have just would not even believe and wouldn't understand if they continue to look outside towards society, in our education systems, the media, everywhere you go. This knowledge is not really out there. It's hidden, as you're fully aware, because you yourself work in the education system, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you see a lot of young women at the level that you teach that are struggling. We know that cutting, eating disorders, anxiety, depression are so on the rise. And why are the ways of our Western world not dissolving them for us? It's because it's not the truth, the truthful ways, the most effective ways that actually affect our own scientific, energetic being. Those are the ways that we have to look at, because they're the ways that work. So what do we have to do? In speaking with you when we first connected a couple weeks ago, I love the fact that you actually talked about, because you're in Western society, you're a teacher in an education system, that you have a beautiful opportunity to start, blending this sacred science, bringing it into the work that you do. Mm-hmm. I have an award that I've done in a grade school for a grade 8 graduating female student for about, this year I think it's the 9th year. And the message in it, in the award, was that I was trying to turn and change, that it's not about the A's and the B's that we get either. It's about, some of the principles and the ways of living and being that we carry within us, that we do learn, that come from the heart, that are really the most powerful and beautiful ways of being. So that's what my award is. So bringing in, new enlightened teachers into the systems. So they're gaining the knowledge from enlightened gurus and masters. For example, 2 of mine, Yogi Bhajan is one of mine, and he is connected to my Kundalini Yoga training practice. So if Yogi Bhajan is a yogi and a master of Kundalini Yoga, and this is what he does all day long, he connects himself to higher vibrations and gains the insights to guide women and people on earth on how to feel good, then why are we not listening to that? And why are we not incorporating that enlightened knowledge into our systems as we learn it, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
One of the things that brings up for me is that I think people that are watching this interview and listening to us chat are going to say, well, I'm not a yogi. I don't have that kind of time. So how can we start to shift to that higher vibration and really see the beauty that we are without feeling like, oh, I have to be a yogi and devote hours a day? And, how do we start?
We start by looking to the yogis. And these are people that have sat in practice. They have become masterful at this knowledge. So if a lot of us, it's not our lot in life to be sitting, in easy pose and meditating for, 24 hours a day. So if we look to enlightened spiritual masters, which I mentioned 5 in my book, so you start looking at them, you start taking in and studying their knowledge. So where are we going to get our knowledge to navigate ourselves in life? We go to school, we have media. Start reading and learning from enlightened gurus, the insight that they share. For example, Yogi Bhajan has a quote that I love, and he says, just be you. So people would go, okay, well, just be me. Well, I'm kind of, I don't know, I just am who I am. I don't like a lot of people. I feel angry a lot, so this is who I am. No, he's trying to tell us to look inside to the sacred science and find out who you really are. You're not what society has taught you. You're way more powerful and way more beautiful than that. He has another quote, that delivers insight that says, you are powerful as long as you know how powerful you are. So if you don't know and you don't search this information, you will never know how powerful you are. Rumi, why is it, he says in his quote, why do we look outside, outside in the world for the things that we're looking for to make us feel better when there is a mine of gold inside us? So what do those mean? Start reading and listening from them. Start learning the ways to adjust yourself energetically and start having the experiences of profound beauty, and you'll never go back. The experience in itself is becoming the greatest research. I'm sure you're aware that research is changing a little bit, where they're talking about we need to look at the experience of people and learn from it. So let's learn from enlightened masters and their experience and their masterfulness, where they're actually trying to lead us to beauty, peace, bliss, miracles. And if you're not going to listen and you're not going to open up your mind to it, it won't happen for you either. So I have my passion, and this is my story, and this is why I am a women's health educator. It's not that this wouldn't work for men, all of this stuff, because we're all energetic beings, but I have a passion for women because I feel like they've lost their honor in society, and their power has been so hidden. Yogi Bhajan will even talk about women being, they're more powerful than anything because they are the creators of life itself. That's pretty powerful. Mm. So yeah, I just would really like to educate women and help them to kind of start looking outside the box, looking into different ways of learning and knowing themselves on an energetic level. If we raise the vibration inside the body, we automatically will experience profound levels if it's beauty that you're searching for. If you intend that from the heart and that's the focus when you're in those energy technologies to raise the vibration, then you will be guided, guided. It's like you have this person with you that guides you. You don't have to pay them nothing. They're just right with you. And every time they guide you somewhere, it's always the right place. It removes the confusion and it downloads the experience of beauty. It will guide you to the things that you should be doing, the things that you should be saying, the ways that you should be being, the things you should be eating. Everyone has their own unique, health and beauty needs. So I say it is the greatest self-care regime you could ever incorporate into your life, is start getting to know yourself as an energy being.
So how do we do that? So, yes, we can read the masters, we can read your book, but could you give us some examples of practices that have worked for you? Because I think a lot of the women who are watching us talk are like, yeah, that sounds great, but I am so far from that point. I'm so disconnected from myself that I don't even know where to begin. And so could you give us some examples of ways to connect into that, our inner goddess or our higher self? How do we even get there?
Definitely. I think the way people have to look at it is just start somewhere.
Yes.
And get too worked up over what you choose. Choose what works for you. Inside my book, I actually, because it's a treasure chest and there's so many ways, I even say it in my book. Inside the book, go to what calls your name. What are you most interested in? So outside of that, I would definitely say you need to start somewhere. My book is a great grounding for that. But since I've even written the book and expanded my ways of really staying connected in more simple ways, but bumping up the power of everything that I teach in the book. So surrounding myself. If I know that everything is energy and everything carries a vibration, okay, I get more familiarized with the things that carry high vibrations. And I start surrounding myself with it. Okay? So we know, and many people know, and some people may not, but just being out in nature. Okay? Being in nature, being around trees, being around water, bodies of water, waterfalls, carry an energy and a vibration that will just automatically be saturated into your being on a cellular level. So some people go, oh, okay, well, I was around a waterfall last week and it didn't really do much for me. If you really think about it, it did in the moment. But what if you were doing this on a consistent basis and you kept building it and it was growing and growing, the number of things? Mm-hmm. So, for instance, when I sit down and I'm going to do an energy practice, I'm going to make it good. Like you and me and everyone else, life is busy. I don't have hours and hours myself. Mm-hmm. But in a way, I have trained myself and I've become a person. I'm almost like in an ongoing meditation. I'm in a meditation from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep. So there are moments when I am sitting in meditation, but outside of that, there are other things that I'm doing. So for example, in the space that you're going to do your energy practice, and you could even decide that it's 11 minutes of your whole day, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Start small, start somewhere and just get consistent. And then in that space, send a message to the universe. When you sit down in this space, the energy of just sitting in that space sends a message to the universe that you're listening and that you're willing and wanting to get connected to this vibration, okay, and to raise your vibration. So in my sacred space where I do my sacred sadhana, my practices that keep my vibration high, I surround that space and I gather high vibrational items. So for example, words. So we all know that words have power. Mm-hmm. So this could be an example of one of the words that I place. Words that speak to me. Everyone will have their own. Obviously, we start to know the difference between high vibrational words and words that aren't, right? Love, light, sacred, beauty, healing. Those are high energy words. Angry, frustrated, hate. Those would be lower energy. And I talk about it in the book to help people understand, to start to differentiate if they're not aware. I usually carry my spiritual masters with me. So I have photos of them. And Yogi Bhajan is one. So I have a picture of Yogi Bhajan. And I actually, in the training of my Kundalini Yoga, I was given a spirit name. So I have a card that has my spirit name on it. Spirit name is given to me. It's connected to numerology. And the meaning of the word will become imprinted in my ways of being as well, if I carry it with me and I reflect on it. So my spirit name is Akal Sahayakar, meaning undying and always connected to the infinite, which when I was given this this name, it was so reflective of my life. My experiences with working with people who were dying, the death of my own mother, my questioning of where people went when they died, and my experience in growing in my knowledge to realize that there is no death. And that's a very beautiful thing to know and a very comforting thing to know and understand. And always connected to infinite, I've been a seeker my whole life. I have worked hard to understand and get connected to these higher vibrations. And now they comfort me in my life. They carry me across the oceans, as I say, because there are challenges in life, but they insert beauty and miracles throughout it all, and it just makes it a totally different experience. So carrying words, this is a healing mantra card that I have as well, which carries some powerful mantras that were created by gurus. So we can have mantras, we can have affirmations, but if we look to the enlightened masters and carry ones that actually have higher vibrations, higher, you know what I mean, like higher than this one, let's do that. These are ways that empower my practice. I also love stones and gemstones because I know that they carry power too.
Mm-hmm.
So I carry gemstones. Some are big, some are small, right? But the power of all of them are with me when I sit, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So those are some things that I do when I'm sitting. It bumps up the power of what I'm doing. A meditation alone can actually empower you and bump up your vibration even when you're not sitting. And some people don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
So I share a couple secrets about meditation alone that's powerful to carry the vibration, the higher vibrations with you when you're not sitting. Okay? So I took this concept a bit further in this past winter. I thought, wow, you know what? I want to keep bumping up the ways that I am saturated with higher vibrations, whether I'm sitting in practice or whether I'm walking out the door, whether I'm in my car, wherever I am. So I took my love of gemstones and I created a gemstone bracelet that I can carry the vibrations within the gemstones. Mm-hmm. So this is just another way. You know, there's multiple ways. You choose the ones that work for you. I was attracted to gemstones. I studied them. I searched the gemstones that carry the highest vibration, of course, because when you're in the higher vibrations, it's where everything like miracles, healing, peace, and beauty live. It's all on the same vibration. Even heaven lives there, the other side. So you could even experience that. So I took gemstones. I also added words, which this is one of the highest mantras in Kundalini Yoga that actually connects you to this highest vibration, this divine source. So the repetition of this mantra, it's Sat Nam. Okay, so it will bring you. It's a beautiful, beautiful mantra. It will bring you to a higher vibration where you will connect to higher awareness, but at the same time, it will help you to understand who you are, what you're supposed to be doing, what your gifts are, and you will celebrate the beauty of who you are on a level that most people have not experienced. That is the beauty of that, carrying it with me on my wrist, right? Mm-hmm. Those vibrations, but I also bumped up the power by carrying the mantra with me as well.
So when you're sitting in your sacred space and you're doing your energy work, are you meditating? Are you just focusing on the gemstones? Are you focusing on your breath? Are you repeating mantras? Like what works best for you? So if someone is like, I don't even know how to meditate, that sounds great, but I don't even know how to do that. Like, what would your advice be?
My advice would be for people to know that the minute you sit down to honor the universe and this power that you want to connect with and blend with, you're already in a meditation. Mm-hmm. You really are. I spent years trying to meditate, closing my eyes, going, okay, I'm meditating. No, I always thought I couldn't. And then I had myself convinced that because I didn't know how, I could never receive the blessings and the gifts of it. But I've learned through some of the information that I'm reading, the universe speaks to us. This energy speaks to us. The minute you dedicate any time from your heart to that energy, it's listening already. So if we just decide, you could just decide, I'm going to sit quiet, and from my heart, I'm going to connect with this energy. I'm going to let it know. I'm going to talk to it. I'm going to tell it my troubles. I'm going to ask it for some help and some guidance. It's a beginning of meditative practice already. Then, you can move into other forms. Obviously, in my training, there's meditations, there's visualizations, there's mantras, like Sat Nam, which have a vibration and a purpose behind them, and there's so many in Kundalini Yoga, and they're all from, enlightened gurus, which I totally love. So remembering that anything that you do, any moment, even if it's 1 minute that you dedicate to the universe and let it know that you are acknowledging it, because a lot of people go through life and they don't acknowledge it. The minute you start acknowledging it, you are already in meditation. So there's deeper forms, as we know. Yes, I do believe that people need to get in the practice and become consistent. And I mean, daily. When you're not into it and you're not feeling it, then it's your sign that you really need to sit in it. Get lost in it. Listen. Listen to the insight that's being given to you. That is divine insight. For example, if you were to sit, just sit, and you sat there and you decided, I'm hearing all these voices that are saying like, oh God, I have too much to do. Oh my God, I can't manage all of this. Then really the insight is telling you, right? It's telling you, you need to slow down. This is too much. You're not in the flow. When we try to rush and we move too fast and we plan too many things and we're feeling anxious, we're actually out of the flow. So use that as your guide to say, when I'm starting to feel anxious and it's too much, it's actually the universe telling me, slow down, take a day off, because you want to catch up with the flow. You're out of it. It's like, water skiing. When you get outside of the wave, you want to get inside the wave. And it really helps us to balance our lives more. So that would be the greatest secret I love to share, is to tell people the minute you sit, you already are. Don't think that you're not. It has power in itself. Then, yes, start learning some breath work. There are specific breath works that can change you on a chemical level inside, and I share some in my book. There's lots in Kundalini Yoga. I don't know how much time we have. I could share my miracle breath with you if you wanted me to.
Yeah, let's do that. That'd be fun.
So my miracle breath is based in numerology. So I call it 11-second miracle breath. Okay, so we have the 11 seconds, which is a master number. It has a lot of power. So we're going to breathe in. And in Kundalini Yoga, it's always through your nose, unless you're guided otherwise, because it has a powerful impact chemically inside you and activates the pituitary gland and the pineal gland in behind, at your third eye here in the center of your forehead. So it actually helps as well when we're drawing life force. It's not just oxygen. It's another thing people don't realize. Every time you breathe, you're breathing in life force, not just oxygen. You are actually causing chemical reactions to open up other energy pathways. And there are some very powerful ones that when they start to ignite, they actually bring you to higher consciousness. So your breath alone could have that power. So I call it my miracle breath, because I guarantee you that if you actually just sat in meditation with it alone and got consistent with it from the heart, you can take notes on the changes that will happen to you in your life. So breathing in through your nose for 11 seconds. Okay, so we're bringing in life force, really focusing from our abdomens, starting down there to our chest, upper chest. And once you have it after 11 seconds, hold it in there, not with pressure, but holding it so that it has a chance to get into your cells. Allow life force into your cells. And then you're going to release it through your nose again, okay, for 11 seconds. So if you did that a couple times and you're breathing in through the nose for 11, allowing life force to get into your cells for 11 seconds, as you're letting the breath go through your nose after that, just as you're ready to release it, you'll start to feel a warm experience inside you, like a warm chill. And it is an example of the chemical reaction that is happening inside you, okay? So you've got oxygen happening, but you are also there's so many elements in that breath that are happening as well. And that is the energy that is going to connect you and link you to this highest vibration. So breath alone, people don't breathe at all. We're so rushed and we're so busy. If you did that for 11 minutes or 3 minutes, whatever you choose, do the 11-second miracle breath. And I can guarantee you that you're going to feel a sense of peace in the moment. And even if it's just in the moment, think about how powerful it will be if you did it more regularly and consistently from the heart. It's going to be more powerful than that.
That is powerful technique. I mean, I feel so much calmer and more peaceful.
And, it may last for, 5 minutes if you're a person who's really not connected to higher vibrations. So you need to practice. The secret is really trying in our days, how many things am I bringing into my life to keep the vibration going? If I couldn't sit this morning for 3 minutes, I've got my bracelet. I've got my healing oils with me. Another way, I've got my, mantra card with me. What other ways? I'm listening to my healing mantras while I'm driving in my car on my way to work and on my way home.
Well, and you can do this breath while you're driving. I mean, not with your eyes closed, obviously, but, you could, while you're standing in line at a grocery store. I mean, you're waiting for your turn, you could do this breath. I mean, I think it's easy to work into your everyday life, right?
And think about what you're saying. I could do this while I was in the grocery line.
Yeah.
I could do this while I was... That is the mindset that actually guides you to the ability to be meditating all day long. You're finding the spaces in between the work. And one of the secrets I share in my book on top of it, if we're willing to sit down and practice or breathe in the grocery line and get more focused and conscious in doing those practices, the universe pays us back. The power of that, instead of rushing around and striving and being busy, when we actually just slow down and say, I'm going to breathe for a while instead, you get more in line with the universe and the flow of the magic and the miracles and the beauty. So all of those things are in that flow. Our job is to stay in the flow, and every beauty, our sense of purpose will be guided to our own mastery. Like everyone is masterful at something. You've spent a lifetime training for what you do, just like I have. So there will be clarity, and you'll know what that is, and then you're going to be working at a job that you love. You wake up and you feel inspired and good at the end of the day, and you'll be living a life that is full of beauty. Not just, you're going to glow, because that's so good for your cells to be inspired and happy. Even just you're going to glow. You're going to be radiant, and you're going to feed your cells. But at the same time, you're also going to be just content and happy and peaceful and blissful and successful, and you're going to radiate beauty wherever you go. You'll walk in a room and people go like, wow, what is it about that person? I've actually done practices in Kundalini Yoga to increase my radiance, and walked into 2 stores within 1 week and had the manager in one store come up to me and say, I don't know what it is about you, but there's something. It was like he could see it, but he couldn't put it into words, right?
Yeah.
And that's usual, right, to walk into a store. I had another woman say, you glow. So I knew that the technology was working. It was like my own research and experiment to be practicing the practices and have those experiences that people were saying it. They didn't know what I was doing, but they were seeing something unseen, a beauty unseen. And that's the experience of beauty that I would want for every woman.
I love it. I cannot believe we're almost out of time. Hour just flies by with you, Cindy. This is wonderful. So I know that you have a free gift for our viewers. So would you share what that is with us?
Yes. If you go to my website,
right below us.
www.realbeautiful.ca, and there's a place where you can sign in. And when you sign in with your name and your email, you'll get a free audio download. And this download really kind of sets you up to help you to really get more connected to yourself as an energy being, which I think a lot of people have to just, you got to start learning a little bit more about that. So I feel like that's just a great way to start, to gain some understanding. It's a gift that I give away. And I also give a free sparkling heart download. So this heart is something you download, and you cut it out and you make a bunch of them. And when you get together with women, you sparkle them, and you keep the heart to remind you, to be lighting up your own light. I want to light up hearts across the world, with this knowledge, so that every woman could be living on purpose and living in her most radiant beauty that many women have yet to experience.
Thank you so much. I love that. I love the sparkling heart. I love that you're giving us a place to start with a little guided audio to kind of really help us cue in. If we want to get your book, we can get that on your website, I assume?
Yes. You can get on my website, Barnes & Noble, Chapters, Balboa Press. There's lots of different places that it is. Like, okay. You can get it on Amazon as well. So, yeah. And anytime anyone has a question, I have a Real Beautiful page on Facebook. So come and just throw me some questions. Throw out, you can message me. If you have any questions and guidance that you're needing, I would more than be happy to continue to help guide you to this knowledge and this experience.
Thank you so much. That's so generous of you. That's just fabulous. Oh. Thank you, Cindy, from the bottom of my heart, for you being here today. This has just been so powerful, and yet it's such easy, simple things we can do every day to really raise our vibration.
We look for it to be challenging, and really it's not. But I appreciate and I'm honored to be here with you too, Mary, because I know your energy is beautiful to me too, and I thank you for allowing me to be here today.
Thank you. So in our closing, what one thing, if you could narrow everything we talked about down to one thing, what one thing would you ask our viewers to do today to start connecting in and feeling that inner goddess, that inner wisdom, that higher vibration? What's one thing they could do right now?
I would say start doing whatever it takes to carry higher vibrations with you, to start infusing them into you through breath, through high vibrational items, whatever it is, and just start there and start connecting and talking to the universe and asking for guidance as well, and it'll show up for you.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Cindy, for your guidance and your wisdom. Thank you to our viewers for being here. Tune in tomorrow for another exciting interview with the ways that you can embrace all of you and really accept you for who you are. So thank you all for being here with us today.
Sat Nam.
Sat Nam. So much, Cindy, for your guidance and your wisdom. Thank you to our viewers for being here. Tune in tomorrow for another exciting interview with the ways that you can embrace all of you and really accept you for who you are. So thank you all for being here with us today.